Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and welcome to SNN Live. We're coming to you from the Cambridge House Silver Summit in Spokane, Washington, 2013. I have with me David Morgan, silver investor, featured speaker, the silver guru. At least I know that you're the silver guru. And he's got a newsletter, ladies and gentlemen. David, welcome to SNN Live.
Good to be with you, Shelley. Thank you.
It's good to see you. Okay, let's jump to the beginning. What are you speaking about today and yesterday?
Well, I was a little bit perplexed because this has grown to such a large extent. So there's a lot of other silver experts that speak about the silver fundamentals, silver markets, technical analysis, and that type of thing. So I decided to ask my database, what do you want? So I sent out a request for questions. And of course, as you would expect with the size database I have, I was overwhelmed. So what I did was I sorted through them, and I took out probably 6 or 7 of the best, most frequently asked questions. I tried to put them in logical order. So we're talking about the first one, is the bull market over? That's a pretty easy one to answer in my view, and I show a slide to prove my point. Then is the bottom in, and then from there we go into more esoteric questions, most of them based on a presupposition that the economy is going to have more problems ahead, and how do you see it unfolding? And those, of course, are total opinions, but I've got a view of kind of what the most extreme case would be and what I think the actual case will be. But that, again, is opinion. But people want to know that. I mean, people want to, make adjustments to their investments based upon the possible scenarios. So I'll go through a few of those.
So how does the general population of your investor audience conceive, and what are they thinking, and what do you think they're going to want to do?
It goes from extremes. We have some that think that things are going to unravel in a very uninhabitable manner, you might say, and then we have others that are more like me that know from history that wealth, which isn't really money per se, it's schools, roads, airplanes, cornfields, oil, that type of thing, the real wealth that we go out and touch, the tangible economy. It doesn't blow up and dry up and burn down to the ground. When you have an economic crisis, what happens is that wealth remains and it changes hands. And the ownership could change because of people that are, say, over-leveraged in debt, that cannot make their payments for their mansion, as an example, or their business or whatever, have to give it up. And the people that have the capital or entities will take it over. So the wealth doesn't blow up and disappear. And it's a very challenging time, but this has taken place in history again. Of course, it's a monumental event from my perspective and many other analysis that it's world. It's a global situation this time, but it doesn't mean it's untenable. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it doesn't mean that we're all going to be out on the streets, although that's happening. I mean, I admit it. I try to take a balanced view. So it goes the gamut, Shelley. It goes from the people that I'd say have a lot of fear to people that maybe have thought about it more, or maybe are more reconciled, or maybe older, maybe naive. I'll put myself in any of those categories. I don't care. That it's going to be a tough transition, but we'll get through it. I'm a big believer in the human spirit and the ability for people working together, and actually a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people actually become their best under stressful, trying circumstances.
So, you're my expert on silver. What do you think these junior silver companies, mining and exploration and production, obviously they're in different states of production, whatever, where do you think they're going?
Well, I think some of the very small explorers that are out of cash are probably going to go away. But I do think that the mid-tiers and upper tiers have got great opportunities. The ones with cash can buy up good assets for pennies on the dollar. I think it'll consolidate further. I'm a big believer in monetary history and what lies ahead for both the metals. And I think we're at a lull right now. I think the best opportunity really is in the mining shares, better than the bullion itself. But I want to be consistent, Shelley, and that's, you really should own the metal first. And just for the record, I've said this many times, but I think it bears repeating, that you do not need to put your life into the precious metals. I've never advocated that. If you check the public record, I said 10% is probably enough for most people. If you're a super enthusiast and you're a little more bent toward economic problems ahead, such as myself, wealth, then maybe 20%. But that leaves you 80 or 90% to go out and live your life. There's some biotech companies. I mean, you've got insights into a lot broader base than I do. I have to spend most of my time focusing on the economy and the metals markets. But I mean, there's tons of opportunities every day. And I think people kind of overlook that. They get in this mindset that, I'm just waiting for the end and I've got my metals and it's all going to come out okay. And, there's a lot more to life than just that. I mean, yeah, that's an attitude, but put it in a proper perspective that it is a potential, and none of us know if or when it will happen. I believe it will, and I believe it'll probably happen in my lifetime, and we don't know how it's going to happen. So get in I think, a broader perspective that enjoy your life. I mean, as Jim Dines used to say, and I don't know if he's quoting somebody else, living well is the best revenge. Enjoy each day. Have your metals as kind of a hedge or backup or insurance. I hate that word because I think it's a savings, not an insurance. But whatever you want to name it, doesn't matter. That's your position. Hold it, relax, get out there and enjoy your life.
Now, let me tell you another consistency of some of the companies that I've interviewed at this conference. Some of them are sitting on huge resources. I mean, 150 million, ounces. I mean, these are big, big pieces of property.
That's a very good question, and I'm so happy you brought it up because it's extremely important to understand how to analyze this stuff. There's a company here that probably has, I think it's 700 million ounces. But it's so disseminated, you're basically buying dirt. So it's not necessarily the size. It's the old adage, quality over quantity. Now, you get in arguments with me, and there's a lot of people that do, and that's okay. People pay me for what I do and what our analysts come up with because we know what we're doing. There is a summation called Archie's rule, and this rule is basically taking the economics of any situation and making a determination if you want to build a mine or not. And what you're going to find out if you use this, which is kind of the Bible of the mining industry, is that you need high grade to do well. And you look at around this room, there's less companies here, and the ones that are doing the best are the ones that have high margins. And generally speaking, who has high margins is high grade. Is that true in every single case? No. Why? Well, because some of these companies were able to put up their capital structures, 20 years ago, and costs were a lot lower. So, yeah, there's exceptions to any rule, but the general rule is you want to go for the best, and that's what I teach, and speculation is speculation. I mean, a lot of what you do is taking shots on up-and-comers, IPOs, startups, great ideas. Not every great idea works out. But if you know how to approach it, I like that idea, I like that idea, I like that idea, and you have a basket of great ideas. Some are. Some are fantastic winners. But if you get locked onto, I'm betting the farm on that idea, boy, you're not approaching the market correctly. Am I right?
Well, I cannot say you're wrong. Well, I think your viewpoint on silver is so focused that when you give advice, people listen. And that's what's happening at this conference. So, ladies and gentlemen, David Morgan, the Silver Investor. Let's get your website out there.
Okay, it's silver-investor.com.
But he's the silver guru, and he's a silver fox also, ladies and gentlemen. And he's a featured speaker at this conference. We're at the Cambridge House Silver Summit in Spokane, Washington. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNN Live. I want to thank you again for coming on. Okay? Good to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you.